Hey Starshine, how are you? I'm TK, and today I will play Morph Girl with
Amps.
I'm forcing her to play a horror game.
Eek.
And I'm doing this because I've actually seen the entirety of this game. I watched Scary Game Squad play it all, and I really was super interested in it because, like, Ju-on the Grudge was my intro to horror movies and getting really interested in that stuff. So I'm super interested in Japanese ghost stories, and this is very much inspired by that. Because of that, it's kind of more emotional than jump scary. So,
Good.
but it's really good, and I didn't think it would be super interesting watching someone who knows this game all the way through to the end. So I brought Amps over to be the fresh
Save me.
person, and she's gonna make all the options and choices and stuff like that. But let's just pop right in, shall we?
Yeah.
Morph Girl does not autosave.
Oh no.
When visible, use the cog reel icon to save, load, or quit the game. Remember, save frequently and prior to important events or decisions.
Wait.
Load these save files should you wish to revisit them. Oh, this is also an FMV game, and I love FMV games. Oh, fukaru. Monday.
I don't like this whole fuzzy VHS thing.
You don't or do?
Don't.
It's very much so like The Ring and stuff like that. My name is Alana Pierce. Is it Alana or Elena? I think it's Alana, right? Because Elena would be with an I after the first A, right?
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, my name is Alana Pierce. On Friday, it will have been a year since the death of my wife, Rebecca. Since then, my life has been one of tedium and monotonous routine. I work an underpaid office job at a failing insurance company. I don't have any friends, and I rarely leave the house. And in just a few days, everything is going to change.
Oh no.
Hello, Alana. Good morning.
Gasp.
Whoops, can't show that on YouTube. Go downstairs, make coffee. Always coffee. I love coffee.
I don't drink coffee. It hurts my stomach.
Rebecca was a writer. Like you.
Oh no, is this me?
Oh no! Her reluctance to find real work put strain on both our finances and our relationship. Sorry, this might hit a little too close to home.
Oh no.
During an argument over our accumulating debt, Rebecca suffered a seizure. Though at least you're not in debt. So at least there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rebecca suffered a seizure. She was quickly diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. She died 9 months later. She just makes instant coffee. I'm fine with instant coffee as long as it doesn't taste like crap. But I tend to like actual real coffee. Every day, I watch her favorite movies, read her journals, and her short stories. What started out as a means to move on quickly became a routine that I couldn't escape. There's little to my life outside of what I have left of Rebecca. I like her jacket.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I mean, honey, you should go see a therapist. You need to talk this out. You need to work through your grief, honey.
Yeah.
Hang out with some friends. I know you said you don't have friends, but maybe someone at work will want to hang out with you.
I like your cool jacket.
Yeah, heck yeah. I want to be your friend.
That's a good conversation starter.
It is. I very quickly began to underperform at work. My boss was very understanding, but as the company started to lose money, coworkers began to resent me for the work I could not do. I was quickly relegated to my own office. Coworkers make hateful comments and drop hints about my supposed job security whenever I talk to them. I try not to talk to anybody. She's just becoming incredibly isolated, and that's not healthy. Poor thing. Coworkers definitely don't help.
Yeah.
Bubble baths are nice. Aww. People tell me that I need to move on and get over Rebecca's death. I don't want to. I can't. So I won't. It's a natural way to feel. That's why talking to people about it can help. I mean, and arguably you never truly move on.
Yeah.
So just telling someone, hey, move on, doesn't exactly work, because you never really do. But as you can see, it's really quiet, atmospheric, more story focused than like jump scary. Obviously, scary things haven't happened yet, but it's been 5 months since Rebecca was diagnosed. This is like backstory reading. Breathing is becoming difficult for her. Movement is an almost
Hercules. Why can I not say?
I know it's like Hercules, but Herculean task now. While her doctors say that we still have options, Rebecca is beginning to refuse further treatment. She wants to travel.
Oh. Interesting.
She wants to travel the world before she dies. See all that she can while she can. She's giving up. I don't want her to. She's tired. Too tired for optimism. Too tired for treatment. She's tired of living. We argue constantly over the continuation of her treatment. She only has months left if she doesn't. She's getting visibly weaker with every passing day. She can barely walk, let alone travel the world. It would kill her. Rebecca knows all of this. She doesn't want to be miserable anymore. She wants the both of us to spend the rest of her life in some exotic country, to elope from her treatment with money we do not have, with time she doesn't have. Lie to Rebecca, beg for treatment.
She wants both of us to spend the rest of her life.
Just for, like, this is lying to her saying, oh yeah, we're totally going to go travel when we're not going to travel.
Oh, okay, I see.
Just to make her, I know it's not very clear, but that's to like, make her feel
I was kind of curious.
more comforted and happy.
I don't want to lie to her. I mean, I get that it might help her feel happier, but
yeah,
I probably beg for treatment.
Beg for treatment?
Yes.
Final answer?
Yes.
Beg for treatment. I beg Rebecca to stop talking as though she's going to die. What starts as a heartful plea rapidly turns into me screaming and shouting at her. I tell her that we can't afford to travel, that she can hardly walk, that she's stupid for thinking we could do anything other than try to get her better. Rebecca quietly agrees to further treatment.
Aww.
It doesn't work.
No.
Rebecca only continues to worsen, and we are soon out of options. Rebecca can no longer walk or breathe by herself. She often cries, frequently wishing that we could be on a beach somewhere in the Caribbean. I feel guilty. Just a few days until the anniversary of Rebecca's death. I'm not ready for it. Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I actually said Tuesday, because usually I say Tuesday.
Oh, I've never noticed that.
Yeah, I kind of hop between the two, but usually Tuesday sounds more comfortable to me.
Ooh, heart top.
Every day goes by the same as the last. I don't think that's a click-through option, it's just fading up. I don't know if it's guilt, loyalty, or just fear that compels me to stay put. How can I have happiness when I denied her the same? Rebecca wants me to read some of her book on account that I never have before. I've always condemned her choice to focus on writing as opposed to pursuing legitimate employment.
How dare you?
Sorry, don't take that personally. Her writing has always been a source of major contention between us. She wants to know what I think of it. My throat just made a weird noise, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Before that's no longer possible. I don't know what to say. She's desperate for me to read it, despite prior altercations. This makes me feel angry and a little bit guilty. Despite everything, she still insists that her writing career is important to her. The very pursuit that has jeopardized her home, financial security, and her marriage for years. I don't want to encourage it, but it's her passion. Tell her that you won't. Tell her that you will.
Read that darn book.
So tell her that you will? Yeah, just go for it. Go for it. Come on. I tell Rebecca that I will read it. It's a collection of short horror stories. I finished them all in just a few days. They're good. Really good. Rebecca's university grades were relatively poor, but she was always highly regarded for her fiction writing. She's really talented. I feel guilty. Only now that she's dying here, I have even bothered to read any of her work. All these years I've kept Rebecca from her writing aspirations, and now she really may never reach them. When she asks if I'd read it, I'm too embarrassed, ashamed to admit any of this to her. I tell her that I've been busy. She never asks again.
Grrr.
I thought you were starting to say, girl. Grr, grr, grr.
Girl, grr.
Girl. I often think that I would do anything to get Rebecca back. Would I? Anything? Even mess with a ghost?
Oh no.
Mwahaha. How do you wake up to only a vibration on your phone? I refuse to get on with my life, and yet I still expect it to change. It's almost as though I were waiting for something.
Oh.
Uh-oh, spooky stuff starting to happen.
Will my heart be able to handle this?
It's been 2 months since the diagnosis. Rebecca is exhausted from chemotherapy, sick of both the side effects and its administration. She doesn't like her doctor or any of her nurses. She hates the hospital and is very outspoken about how much she doesn't want to be around real cancer patients. Rebecca doesn't want to feel unable. She's restless and very much in denial. I hate hospitals too.
Yeah.
It's Friday night. Rebecca wants to go out with her friends. I tell her that I don't think it's a good idea for her to be exerting herself so soon after therapy. I need this, she says. I'm scared that this will be too much for Rebecca, but I can't keep her from living her life. Let her go, insist she stay.
I think I want to let her go. I know she might feel sick afterwards, but I think it would be nice to like go out and see her
Can I say
friends.
something as a chronically ill person?
Yes.
Let her go.
Yeah.
It's my decision of whether I want to like exhaust myself, you know, because occasionally I know that something is going to exhaust me, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know, if it's going to be something that I really need, that I'm going to really enjoy. Yes, I may have to spend some extra time in bed for the next few days, but I'd rather do that than be careful not to expend my energy and do nothing for the rest of my life. So, yes, let her go.
I feel like every choice leads to a bad thing. In the
end, you kind of just feel guilty no matter what.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling.
I tell Rebecca to have fun. I worry all night but refrain from calling. At around midnight, Rebecca comes home early. I pretend to be asleep. She's wheezing. In the morning, I ask Rebecca about her night. She says that it was a little too much for her, but she's glad that she went. Thank you. That one's a little more positive.
That's good.
That one's a little bit more like, hey, you actually did something positive.
Yay.
She's a little exhausted, but hey, she feels good. She feels good mentally and emotionally.
Oh, are the alarms getting faster?
Maybe you're just getting paranoid because you're getting like more hyped up, like your heart's beating faster.
No.
So
I know, I'm just like waiting for something to happen.
it's a slow build, and that's part of the great thing about it. I like slow builds. Anticipation is more like terrifying than usually the actual outcome, you know. And that's sometimes why it's great when like horror movies and stuff just don't have an actual like ending. They just cut the anticipation and then leave your imagination.
Oh, what?
It's just letting me save because it's an important choice.
Oh no, I don't like these noises. Oh.
What is that? It's a doggo!
Oh, a what?
A doggo! There's a doggo behind your shoulder. You know, go back to her.
Wait, there's a dog?
Right there. It's like a dog pillow.
It's a cute doggy.
See, focus on the dog. It's okay. What is that? I think I see something by the bath plug. Is something leaking? It doesn't look like water. Should I go in? Go in or leave. Go in and leave. Go in or leave.
Are these timed?
No.
Okay.
No. Sorry, I'm making it more. No.
No,
you get all the time.
Oh, I mean, I want to know what it is, but well, I don't want to die.
It's up to you. What do you want to do?
I mean, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom at some point, aren't I?
Maybe you have another bathroom, or you can go at work. I don't know.
I can't keep showing it. Oh, I'm curious though.
Curiosity or protecting, or what is the word for it? Like self-preservation. There you go. Curiosity or self-preservation.
Let's go in.
You go in? All right, let's go in.
Save me.
She backed up. I can't really tell, like, because it's black and white, I think it's blood.
Yeah, that's...
It's very thick in consistency, almost as though it's oozing out of the plumbing as opposed to dripping or leaking. It looks black.
Oh.
So maybe it's not blood. Or maybe red? Oh, thanks! Thanks, that really clears it up. I don't know. I don't know what it could be. It seems to be coming out of the shower head.
Oh. Don't put your eye under there. I just told you.
She can't hear you.
Oh, it didn't get in her eye.
Yeah, that would suck. That would hurt if it got in your eye.
Turn the water on more.
You need that pressure to like. They probably recorded it when it was a little more on. It was just way too loud, so they're like, "Can you turn it down?"
Okay. Well, we didn't die.
You didn't die. I don't know what was in the bath, but whatever it is, I need to forget about it.
Maybe call a plumber?
I can't be thinking about this right now. Not this week.
Oh,
I have some time
no.
before I need to leave for work, so I can collect myself in the living room. I can pretend that everything is all right.
Okay.
It isn't. I think this is the time when we can, like, read some journal stuff, I think. Which we totally should do, because that stuff's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Photos, notebook, films, TV. I don't know if you can only do a few of these or if you can do all of them. So I would just kind of say, let's make sure we do the notebook just in case, because that's like the most important thing here.
Yeah, then let's do that.
It's one of the notebooks Rebecca used to write in her stories in. Come with us, page 1. Typical. That's the best way Jane could have described the night. The moon was out, lighting the room in a dull, familiar glow. The air was still, peaceful. It was the perfect conditions for sleeping. Many would agree with her, except the typical night had been disturbed in the most atypical way Jane could have ever imagined. Jane squirmed in the corner of her bed. She pressed herself against the headboard and the wall, hugging her knees. Most of all, she was trembling. It wasn't every night that you wake to find an expressionless child standing at the end of your bed, after all. The main question on Jane's mind was why? Why her? Why tonight? Why a child? Jane never thought of herself as particularly special. Surely this only happened to those who warranted it, the weird and wonderful, not someone like her. Normal. That's the best way Jane could describe herself. Her name was Jane Audrey Phillips, named after her 2 grandmothers, naturally. She had brown, shoulder-length hair. It was practical. Brown eyes like her father. She wasn't particularly tall, neither particularly short. She did well at school. It led to a job that paid her bills. She neither liked her job nor did she dislike it. She had often thought she was a very neutral person. She didn't think much of anything. Not that she wasn't happy. She was in a calm, contented way. She got on with things much like herself. The day could also be described as normal. She awoke 3 minutes before her alarm, as she usually did, ate a reluctant breakfast, and headed to work. Work was average. Papers needed filling, reports needed writing, minimal conversations, and a sticky R key on her laptop. Returning home, leftovers for dinner, calling her mum. It was the routine she'd had for years. She went to bed on time and fell asleep in a timely manner. Nothing indicated anything odd should happen to her at all. And yet there the child stood, at the end of her bed, in her room. It was a girl. It was wearing a white nightgown reminiscent of times far gone. It had long, unwavering dark hair. Its face was pale, and eyes were dark. It made Jane uncomfortable to think of the strange specter as a girl, so she didn't. A young girl wouldn't find herself in a stranger's room in the middle of the night. This was not a young girl. That was all Jane could figure out. The woman had already tried asking it for information, but it wouldn't speak. It didn't react at all. It just stared at her. There was a chill on her spine she was desperately trying to ignore, almost as if someone was slowly dragging an icicle up her back. She pressed herself harder against the wall. The sensation didn't cease. Finally, the child parted its pale lips. Though this was once the outcome Jane was hoping for, somehow it only terrified her more. She shrunk further into the bed. She was shivering. "Come with us." Jane sucked in her breath as the child spoke. Its voice was small and soft. It sounded like a little girl. It almost left Jane less afraid. Almost. But the eyes were so dark and the stare was so intense. Jane desperately wanted to look away or close her eyes, but she dare not. I'm going to say dare not. That makes more sense. The woman was terrified if she broke eye contact, the child would do something. She couldn't know what. The unease only grew. The child's face remained blank as it stared, though its head tilted to the side. It was almost cute. Only almost. Jane suddenly realized it was waiting for a response. The woman released the breath she didn't realize she was holding. Where? Her voice wobbled as she spoke, her lip left trembling. The child shook its head a little, its dark hair shuffling over its chest. Come with us.
Interesting.
Alright, what next?
I guess photos?
Alright, let's look at the photos.
Photos.
Photos of me and Rebecca on the day we moved in. We probably shouldn't have moved into a house with such expensive rent, but Rebecca wouldn't stop talking about kids. Though Rebecca was set on living in the city, she also thought we'd need the extra space. I think we would have been good parents.
TV. Darn, I was hoping we could see pictures.
Let me die.
The brain that wouldn't die. Now this is legitimately the full movie. You could sit here and watch this entire movie because this is one of those like so old that it's public domain. So I think there's an achievement for watching the entire movie.
Oh my goodness.
But we're not going to do that. I don't know if you're curious to see some of it, but essentially it's just a story about like this doctor who does unethical.
I don't know.
I'm not sure which one. Experiments that brings like this dead man's brain back to life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he does it on like his dead girlfriend, like they get in an accident, or his girlfriend, his wife, something like that, brings her back to life and keeps just her brain alive. And it's just torture for her to like keep a hold on her, which I think is supposed to be parallel to like holding on to the memory of someone and refusing to let go, or you know, stuff like that. But man, this is back in the days when the credits were at the beginning of the movie. It was the worst. Yeah. So this is the entire movie.
Okay. Maybe just watch like a couple more seconds and then...
Why is it so quiet?
I don't know.
I could have sworn that there was like music or something. I don't even hear the dialogue. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be dialogue right now.
Oh.
I used to like this one. The film is about a mad scientist who manages to keep a woman's severed head alive for several days. The woman begs for him to let her die. Unsurprisingly, I no longer care for it. Okay, so I could, and then you can just sit here and watch the entire thing. So I guess films is the only thing that's left. So yeah, I think it's all like old horror films and stuff like that. It's Rebecca's collection of horror movies. Well, some of them. Okay, thanks, that's all. And then I guess we can leave.
Yeah.
My throat keeps making weird noises.
Mine does that too.
I think this is her work.
I like her dress.
I would say she wears some cute clothes, and she's got kind of a similar body type to me, and I think she looks really good. So apparently these are like the types of dresses, if I wanted to wear dresses, I would need to wear. Please finish report by end of tomorrow. Maybe you'd be happier working somewhere else. Ugh, passive-aggressive comments certainly aren't uncommon around here, but I don't think I can put this report off any longer. I'll do the bulk of the work tomorrow. I can't do this right now.
I like her notebook.
It's got butterflies on it. I like butterflies.
Oh.
Is
Is that what's happening?
You
Oh no.
know what? I just got to point out, I do this a lot where she's like, I can't deal with this right now.
Mhm.
I can't deal with it this week. This is a
Mhm.
bad week. I do that every single week.
Oh.
Like every time, like because my depression or
Mhm.
anxiety always finds something to make that day or that week awful. I just end up every day or every week being like, I can't deal with this today, or I can't deal with this
Yeah.
week. I'm taking a break from this. And then I end up just putting it off way too long.
Yeah. Aw.
I used to take comfort in working here after Rebecca's death. I could pretend that she was at home waiting for me just like before. A small part of me really believed that she would be.
Is the house gonna be flooded with blackness?
Oh, that would be cool though. Only I think then she would probably just like leave the house going, ah.
Oh. Oh. No bath tonight.
Nope. They say it's not good for you to bathe every day anyway.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently it's not good for your skin.
Huh.
Whatever was leaking has now completely filled the bath. It looks like blood. Okay, thank you for clarifying that it is in fact blood, because I can't tell with it black and white. I need to call somebody over to fix it. I don't want to. I don't have to deal with any of this. I can't deal with this. Not today. Not this week. Not anymore. Boop. Okay. Call. Do not.
I think she should call.
Think she should call the plumber?
Yeah.
Alright.
Gotta get rid of that.
Okay. Gotta take a bath. I mean, maybe skip a day or two without a bath, but after that, it just gets way too gross.
Yeah.
I tell them about the bath, how it looks as though it is filled with blood. As expected, they don't believe me. They can't send anyone over until
What?
Monday. I'm expected to live with a bath full of this for 3 days?
No.
Great.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
No.
See, I don't know if I would have said it looks like blood. I would probably maybe say it looks rusty.
Yeah, like
Just
weird liquid in my tub.
It's just kind of red and brown and black. It's gross looking.
It's moving.
I wonder why.
Oh!
I like your nails.
They are kind of... Oh, are you naked? Ooh.
Can't show this on YouTube.
Get your sensors ready. Is she gonna walk out there naked? Oh no, wait, is she wearing a dress now?
She's got a dress on now. It just magically appeared when she got out of the bath, I
Good.
guess.
Good.
It's the signature Ondrio look. She has to have the white dress.
Well, that's better than naked body.